Amber. Hi there. I hope you're doing well. I really appreciate the support. I know that right now is a really crazy time, so I definitely don't blame you for being like, ugh, do I really want a tarot card reading? Do I really want to know what's going on? But I think overall it's good to kind of get some insight or a little bit of guidance, from the unknown realm. But yeah, I'm enjoying a little tiny can of Coke. So it looks like this video is sponsored, but I promise that it's not. I just think Coke is delicious. Yeah, I'm kind of having a weird day. Every day's been kind of weird. What can I say about that? But I have kind of tried to channel a little bit of your energy. I'm sorry to hear that your health is acting funny. I actually don't know if that's the case. You didn't elaborate much there, which is okay. That's all right. We'll see what we get here. So I understand also that you are living not as close to your mom as what you used to. I want to say she's living in Des Moines still, and you are in Minneapolis, I believe. I'm not for sure, but that's just kind of my basic understanding of that. So we'll see what we get here. Hopefully it sort of resonates a little bit with you or means something of some sort. But yeah, I'm fairly new to all of this, so I think just being out of work sort of caused me to have to try and be resourceful in another way. So yeah, but I'm getting better at the tarot thing, and it's going really well. So we'll see what we can come up with here for you. With that being said, I have rambled already for 2 minutes, and let's just get into this. The first card I got for you is the Three of Wands, and it's in reverse, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. The Wands are all about action and movement and kind of taking risks and sort of moving forward in a sense. But when I see this card in reverse, it definitely tells me that there's a sense of idleness, a sense of standstill. So it sort of feels like, you've kind of been mulling over a lot of these different things and maybe kind of trying to keep your anxieties and whatnot at bay. But it feels like when I see this card, it just sort of means that you're sort of doing everything you can do right now. So there isn't a lot of action or movement forward you can take, though the Wands are all about action and forward movement. When it's in reverse like this, it just sort of means that you're at a standstill. And I know it's hard to hear. Sometimes we want to move forward and take action and make things happen. But right now it feels like, with this being the very first card I got for you, it just sort of feels like taking things slow and just kind of one day at a time feels like the best that we can do right now and the best that you can do right now. So, maybe that isn't exactly what you wanted to hear, but I can't really sugarcoat the fact that in this sense, there's really no movement forward right now. So I think that kind of just taking your time and sort of thinking things over and, not jumping to any big conclusions is about the best that you can offer yourself right now. The next card I got for you is a really positive card, which I like to see. And it's a really beautiful card. It's part of the major arcana, and it's the Sun. And when I see the Sun, I see success, I see happiness, I see this sort of feeling and this sort of kind of message that all will be well. And so you can sort of put your mind to ease in that sense, because this is a very good card that shows me positive outcomes. It's a card of sunshine and growth and sort of just an overall happy feeling, which I really like to see, because I want you to do well, and I want you to be well. And I know with that first card and the sort of thinking that, there's not much you can do right now, just sort of seeing these two cards together tells me that even with the little bit of action you're able to take right now, or this sort of feeling like you're at a standstill, it feels like that's okay. it feels like with the Sun card showing up right after that, sort of tells me that, you don't have too much to worry about. And it feels like with everything happening right now that there's a lot to worry about. But I think the more we can kind of just sit with our thoughts and understand that, we're doing the best that we can. I think that that's about the most there is. And it's kind of a bummer, but it's also like, seeing this message that, all is going to be okay, regardless of how much we worry or how much we, stress about things. This is a really good message that, for you, you can have a little bit of inner peace and kind of an inner knowing that things are going to unfold however they're going to unfold, and we only have so much control, and that at the end of the day, it's going to be a positive outcome. And I know it doesn't always look like that, but the card I got next for you was the Ace of Wands, also upright. So that's also a really good card, and it's a card of new beginnings and creative spark and sort of like fertile ideas. So it's a card of sort of just taking this time and using it to do things that you've always wanted to do. And these first few cards don't tell me much about your health, so I'm going to draw some more cards to kind of see what I can get there. But I think these were kind of just my overall first messages I wanted to get for you. So yeah, I think that's overall a pretty positive message. I think the idleness definitely makes sense with everything that's happening, sort of being at the standstill, but realizing with the Sun that, it's not all bad. And, having this Ace of Wands say that this is a really good time to sort of just get your thoughts sorted out and realize that, some of the things that you are passionate about and some of the things that you like to do creatively and some of the things that you like to spend your time doing, those are the pursuits that you should be focusing on right now. And I see a lot of positivity in that sense with these two cards especially, saying that, focus on those things you like to do and focus on the things that you love, and you'll get positive results with that. So let's see here. I'll do a little more shuffling. I'm using just a traditional Rider-Waite card deck here. I have a few decks, and I sort of just go with whatever one I'm feeling at the time, or sort of depending on what the person is going through. So let's see if I can get some messages about your health here. Shuffle it a couple more times. So I got some reversals here. And I don't love getting reversals because they sort of don't have the best connotation when it comes to positive cards being in reverse. Don't really give me good messages. So I'm not saying you're dying, which I definitely hope you're not dying. But at this point, who really knows what is happening to all of us? But I got the Ace of Pentacles. So when I see the Ace of Pentacles, Pentacles is all about sort of just like money. Money in a sense of, so generally when I see this card in reverse, it's kind of a sign of debt or not doing the best financially. So when I think about this card in regards to your health, it just sort of tells me that maybe you don't feel completely secure in a sense of like, if something bad were to happen, I mean, in this country especially, and with the fact that our healthcare system is a fucking wreck, I think a lot of us sort of are feeling this. So this sort of just tells me you don't feel very secure right now when it comes to your health in a financial sense. So maybe you have medical debt. I don't know for sure, but this sort of talks to me about that a little bit. Oh, or maybe it's just thinking that like, holy shit, if something really bad were to happen to me or, to my loved ones, am I going to be financially prepared to handle that? The next card I see here is the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So it's talking to me more about money, which I can't stand money. It's such a troublesome thing for all of us, I think, and especially with the working situation right now and with our healthcare system, like I said. When I see this card, it tells me something about greed. And so I don't see you as a greedy person at all, obviously. But I think this could be kind of sending us a message about the bigger picture and all of the greed that's kind of going on in our country. So sadly, it's like we want to focus in on what's happening with us individually and personally, but the truth is that is so reflective of everything that's happening on a larger scale. So I think when I see these two cards, it just sort of tells me that there's a lot of greed financially in our world and medically, in a sense of like people like us don't really have access to quality healthcare and to quality help when it comes to having health issues. And so I think these two cards showing up in reverse like this are just a symbol of that. And so if you want to talk to me more about what is going on with your health specifically, maybe we could get some answers like that are more directed. But the truth is, what I'm seeing now is it just looks like a matter of finances. And it feels like I wasn't seeing any cards that were like big red flags. The next card I did get was the High Priestess, which is also in reverse. So I don't love that I just pulled all reverse cards for you here. But let's see. So the High Priestess in reverse talks to me about sort of like manipulations or like gaslighting, which is kind of scary. So when I see that with the other three cards in reverse that I just got for you, I sort of see like maybe you're feeling like, hopefully not in your personal life, but there could be some sort of manipulation going on. And I don't know if that is something, a message to have to do with your family or your health or your mother. But there could be some sort of, it's feeling like some sort of financial burdens are happening, which I feel like we're all sort of experiencing. But I feel like for you specifically, it's sort of feeling like some sort of financial burden in a sense of, like I said, health-wise. So maybe there are financial burdens in a sense of you are worrying a lot about, your health and your mother's health and just your mother in general, thinking like, is she going to be okay through all of this? And am I going to be okay through all of this? And if something bad, God forbid, were to happen to either of us or, anyone in the family, are we going to be able to cover that and handle that? When I see this High Priestess, it talks to me a lot about going into your subconscious and sort of like, sort of trying to think about things from a perspective of spirituality and sort of thinking about things from a perspective of, it's really anxiety-ridden and anxiety-causing to try and think about this bigger picture of every single thing that is going on. So this card is sort of a reminder to like take a moment, think about your subconscious and try and minimalize things in a sense of like, okay, this is me. These are the people I'm worried about and concerned about. I need to not focus on this huge, bigger picture for a little bit and just focus on this smaller sort of picture. But the fact that this card shows up in reverse and the manipulation thing, it just gives me this bad sense that there's some sort of gaslighting going on where, like, obviously on a bigger scale, we're being gaslighted. It feels like we don't know what to believe with the media. We don't know what to believe with this whole virus thing going on. Sorry, I apparently have ants in my pants. I cannot stop squirming. Forgive me. But, so yeah, the whole gaslighting and manipulation theme that I'm seeing with this card, that message I don't love. I'm really hoping it's not something like more individually specific going on within your family. But only you would really know that. So I would say beware of that. Be wary of that. Because it feels like there could be some little white lies being told. Some sort of manipulation in a sense of the whole truth is not being told when it comes to something. So maybe that could be with your health in a sense of like maybe you're not getting the answers you want from doctors. And I know that that can be really hard. I mean, we can't even technically go to our doctors right now. But I think it just feels like a lot of confusion right now, in a sense of like, what's the right thing to do and what's the right way to move forward. And when I got that first card for you, which was the let me go back to that real quick. Sorry, I stacked them up in a weird way here. Which was this, rods in reverse, the idle sort of not much movement, not much that you can do right now. That sort of seems like a frustrating thing with the manipulation and the gaslighting, because it feels like you really want answers and you really want some clarity, but it doesn't feel like that's being offered to you right now. So I don't love that. I'm getting a sense more and more each reading I do why you wouldn't want a reading, actually, because not a lot of positive stuff is happening here. Okay, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 9 of Rods. This one popped out. It like literally flew out of the deck. So I have the 9 of Rods upright. And so this does tell me a lot. Going back to that reversal card that we first started with, it does tell me that there is some action that is needed. And I want to be more specific about that. So I'm going to draw a couple of clarifiers. I want to see exactly like where this action is needed. So when I see the 9 here, it sort of gives me this feeling of pessimism, which I don't want you to get caught up in like feeling negative feelings and just getting down in that whirlwind and sort of falling into this hole of like negative feelings and just not feeling good about things. It feels like you're definitely like gearing up for the worst, which I think is always great to be prepared. But I definitely want this to be a reminder to hope for the best while we are preparing for the worst and while we sort of are gearing up for God knows what is to come. Try and stay positive. I know it's really hard, but like you're such a sweet person, and I feel like, you know, as an empath, I know that we're very similar in being Pisces and being people that care, like, way too much sometimes. I really want you to try and remember to not get too caught up in the negative feelings, because I know that they can really, like, drag us down. And that doesn't help. That doesn't help our situation at all, you know? And you want to be there for your mom right now, especially. And maybe you can't be right there with her like you really wish you could be. I'm feeling the same way. Like, I really wish I was in Des Moines right now with my people. You know, it's kind of really hard going through this on my own. And I feel like maybe you're feeling that way. I'm getting a sense of you're sort of feeling that way, like, for your mom. Like, you're thinking, like, does she have enough support right now? You know, and does she have enough care right now or enough, like, nurturing energy around her right now? And so I just want you to try and stay positive in a sense of, like, whenever you talk to her and whenever you speak to her, like, just try and send as much positivity as you can towards her. I know you guys are really close, so I think that's adorable. So I hope she's doing well right now, too. Let's see if we can get some more clarification here. That wasn't horrible. That wasn't all bad, right? I mean, you kind of, like, it didn't tell you much more that you didn't already know. I'm sort of wanting to get some answers about this manipulation thing. My cards are going all over the place right now. I don't know what's happening with them. Let's try and get that in order. The Sun card, though, that's really positive. I feel like kind of having an overall theme of, like, you know, no matter what, like, things are going to turn out okay. And, you know, like I've mentioned, there's only so much we can do. There's only so much control that we have. And I think the less we try and control circumstances, I mean, maybe the better off we are. Is kind of what I'm noticing. Because the more I really, like, wish I could have answers and have control, it's just, like, it's all a fucking mess. Pardon my French. But yeah, you know that. You know it as well as I do. But I'm seeing just a big theme of, like, staying positive and sort of, like, not letting all of the bullshit that's going on around us. Okay, I got 2 more cards here. Let's see. I got Justice. So, Justice to me is a card all about balance. And it's a card all about finding the balance. And sort of, it's not a bad card by any means. It's definitely something where, you know, we want fairness and we want equality and we want that balance. And so I think this is just a big reminder right now that you've got to try and, within yourself, find that balance and sort of think like, what is the most fair route right now to go, um, as far as, as far as thinking of your health. Like, are you eating a balanced diet? I know that sounds silly, but it's true. Are you drinking enough water? I mean, are you making sure you're looking into all the different food groups that you need? And I think right now, especially just trying to take care of our mental health, the things that we eat are so, so important. And so I'm not really one to talk. I would probably eat pancakes like for every meal, or mac and cheese if I could. But I've been trying to eat a lot of vegetables because I think it's really important right now. And I think this is a good reminder when you're thinking of your health and finding that balance is like, all right, maybe I'm drinking a can of Coke, but also I'm going to drink, a few glasses of water later to make up for that. And I think it's just a reminder to try and find that balance and to try and find that fairness in a sense of, being easy on yourself and being kind to yourself also. So yeah, that's kind of what that tells me. And then I have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 of rods here. And like I've said, the rods are sort of that action, that sort of like movement forward, kind of, it's sort of a symbol that some motion, some action is needed. But when I see this, I sort of just see like minor struggles. The 5 is sort of about like disagreements and competition. So this sort of to me just feels like maybe there's been a little bickering back and forth, which I think is totally normal and inevitable in a time like this. But this card just sort of tells me that like maybe the right step forward is to sort of take a little bit more of a passive role on. And I don't mean like passive aggressive by any means, but I think sort of just letting things go and like trying not to get as frustrated or as annoyed by things right now, especially, I think could be really beneficial for you. So let's see. We'll see what we got at the bottom of the deck here. Actually, the 3 of Pentacles is what it looks like. Sometimes I'll just take what I have at the very bottom of the deck as sort of the last little card that I see and the last little message. So the 3 of Pentacles, and like I said, Pentacles are all about the money and the sort of, kind of just like money stuff, which, no one really likes to focus on, but I feel like it's kind of a big, what am I trying to say? It's like a big concern right now for everyone. I mean, the whole economy and the whole, like, basically world as we know it, as normal working and everything was concerned, to me it just feels like it's sort of been shut down, and kind of having to take that step back and kind of realize that, like, not everything is about money. Not everything has to be about, going shopping every day or, people being able to go and get their haircuts, all that Karen stuff that's going on. But I think basically it's just a reminder of being practical, which I think you are totally already doing that. But seeing this as kind of the last message that I have for you, it's just sort of like, 3s are very representatory of our unions with others and sort of our emotional self and our emotional lives. So I think when I see the 3 of Pentacles, it just feels as if it is a reminder to, not take money so seriously and realize that, like, we need money to survive, but, like, what's important is that we have our loved ones right now and that, just be thankful that you're safe and you have people around you that care about you. And money, it comes and goes. And it felt like money was sort of a concern in this reading, which I totally understand. But like I said, there were some positive messages in there too. So I just want to remind you, try not to worry. Try not to worry so much. And that's from one worrier to another. So this reading has gone on for a long, long time. This is probably one of the longest ones I've ever did. I really, really rambled on there for you. But, yeah, like I said, I hope that you found some sort of message in there that was a little bit helpful. And if you have any questions or if you just want to talk, you know I have literally nothing but time on my hands. So I'm always here for you. And thanks again for buying a reading from me. And I know you weren't super gung-ho about actually having one done, but I appreciate the opportunity. And I hope that you can take a little bit from that. So thanks again, Amber.